Welcome, everyone. Aloha, family. It's Friday. It's Aloha Friday, and today's episode is going to be wild. I'm sitting down with one of the most incredible women who went from a terrified off the camera, on camera, to being actually amazing on camera and becoming a six-figure NLP coach. For those of you who don't know what NLP is, neuro linguistic programming coach, and now trains astronauts, master chefs, and entrepreneurs to captivate on command. So if you ever wanted to hit record and immediately forgot how to speak human language, this one is for you. Stephanie Garcia is the live video strategist behind some of the biggest online success stories. She's helped creators drive six-figure download numbers in a day. She's coached teams literally in space. Teaches brain hacks and helps other people turn their fear into confidence fast. So buckle up, grab your iced coffee, and let's get into Stephanie, how she went from rock bottom to becoming a coach that makes people unforgettable.
Oh, I love this. Yay! How exciting. How you doing, love? Happy Friday.
Good. Feeling great. We've known each other for such a long time. I've been seeing you all over the place for years and years, and we recently reconnected again. And so I'm super excited to have you on the show.
Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, hey, I know we're in the same circles. I know we have the same friends and stuff, but I really want to spend some time and get to know you.
Exactly. But this world is so crazy, but now we can do it on demand and be on camera and be able to reach people all over the world and have friends all over the world, which is amazing. So tell us who Stephanie is. Tell us who Stephanie was before all of the lights and camera action.
Oh my goodness, all before that. I mean, in all honesty, like when it comes down to it, I'm Filipino. I was born with a mic in my hand, not necessarily for karaoke, but I know how to MC. I was the one that was pretty much hyping up all the aunties and the nanais as they get up to the mic. I was like, give it up for Tia. Get it for Tita and Tio. Yeah, that's always been me. I'm the youngest of three children. I've always been like the hype woman, right? If anything was like inner turmoil was happening in the family, I was the first one to crack a joke. I could maneuver a conversation. I could steer things a different way if I needed to. That's just always been like my jam, and how that's actually helped me throughout my entire career now. My birthday's next week. Is that I've come to realize that when you know how to motivate the masses, there's a lot that you can do, whether it's in advertising, presentations, speeches, keynotes, all the things, right? It's knowing how to read a room, right? And then having a vision of what you want that to look like, sound like, and feel like, and then create that energy and then send it back out to them. So that way they're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was just coming here for a live stream, but it was a whole entire experience.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah. And one of my mentors always told me, once you have an audience, an engaged audience, you'll never be broke.
Yeah. Your community is your immunity. That's like one of my favorite sayings.
Awesome. So with that, which is actually a totally cool transition, what was the moment that pushed you into NLP and personal development?
So having always been like the front man, I've been like the front man. I worked in the ad agency world. I was deep in the trenches of the ad agency world. And oftentimes, just because of my personality, my founders would always put me on the pitch team. And it was when I was in the pitch team and I found myself pitching with other directors and VPs in the organization, I realized like some of us were really good communicators. Like we knew how to hold attention, and then some of them just flopped, right? And that's the point when I started to realize, what's the difference that makes the difference? Why is it that there are some people that can captivate an audience from beginning, middle, and end? And there are those that are just, they don't have that. And if they don't have that, can they learn it? And so that's when I got turned on to the idea of NLP, because NLP is really just everything is a process. How you get motivated to go to the gym is a process. Everyone has a strategy for everything. How I get ready to go to the gym is probably very different from how you get ready to go to the gym. How I make a peanut butter sandwich is probably very different from how you make a peanut butter sandwich. How we date, how we resolve conflict, how we avoid conflict, how we present, Everything has a strategy. And I think once you start to learn that, that's when you realize, oh, everything just has a combination lock. You just have to find the right order, the right words in order to move people in the right direction. So having been in the agency world, I was like, let me learn this real quick. And then after that, I came back the next pitch. I was like, oh, we got this. I was like, oh, we got this, because how you pitch to a CEO is very different from someone that's in CMO or a CFO, right? It's knowing how to read the room and navigate it.
Awesome. When did you realize that your superpower was actually helping them become magnetic on camera, being able to take that the sequences in NLP, but then now translate into the digital world online?
Yeah, I think realizing that the magic superpower was getting people not to just like be confident on camera.
Mhm.
For me, it's like, I'm gonna have you strut on stage. I want you to be like, bam, you know, like bring your own fan and just, psh, you know, your hair blowing in the wind and everything, like snap into it. Like that's what I wanted for my particular clients, and just seeing them transform right before your very eyes, right? That to me was like, ooh, I like that. Let's do more of that.
I know that's hard to answer this question, but like, what is your process like for that? I mean, people are, I actually meet a lot of people who have a lot of anxiety about that. Like,
About
it's
speaking on stage or being on camera or both?
both. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a reason why I named my first company Lights Camera Live. And when people hear the word lights, they think like, oh, you know, like your key lights, you're this. I'm like, no, no, no. I actually want to know what lights you up inside. For what
Mm,
purpose do you want to be on stage or speak on camera or grab the mic? For what purpose? And oftentimes they start to realize it's like, because I want to change someone's life. Because if I had known this when I was going through my divorce, that would have helped me so much. So now I want to share that same experience with somebody else so they don't have to suffer like I did. I'm like, all right, got it. And so when you figure out what someone's really passionate about, what really lights them up, then pulling out the ideas of like, this is what you can talk about becomes so much easier. It's simple. I call it the 10 by 10 exercise. Like, tell me the top 10 frequently asked questions you get your business, your product, or your service. Yeah. So for me, it'd be like, oh, Stephanie, frequently asked question is, how long should my pitch be? When in reality, they should have 10 should ask questions. These are 10 questions you should be asking, but the audience doesn't know because they're not the expert like you are. So instead of asking me, how long should my pitch be? The question you should be asking is, how do I want people to feel as soon as I walk off the stage? How do I want people to feel as soon as I'm done giving that delivery? And so when we do that, I say, here's your top 10 FAQs, here's your top 10 should ask questions, your SAQs. Like, that's 20 ideas of content that you could be putting out like right now. And if you're really smart about it, you could organize it into like beginner, intermediate, advanced, right? So even me just saying the 10 by 10 exercise, that's beginner.
mhm,
Intermediate would then be, okay, so of those 10 by 10 and should ask questions, which one of those has a powerful story that you could share with an audience, right? Not just like facts tell, stories sell, right?
mhm.
What's an
Yeah.
actual story that can draw somebody in? So that's going to be intermediate. And then advanced is going to be, now let's talk about how you're going to work that stage, because you're not just standing on one spot, right? There's a reason why you're standing in that space. And so when we go into the delivery piece of it, like your intonations, your pauses, how you use your hands. So there's different ways that you could do with your content. So that's usually the first part, is teaching clients, you know, what's your strategy for becoming confident? And a lot of
Mm,
times it's like, oh, well, when was the last time I ever felt confident? I'm like, you tell me. Last time I felt confident was like, boom, I went into the gym, right? I did a squat. I was like, yes, right? I'm like, yes, girl, yes, right? That's when I feel confident. So confidence doesn't always have to be like these big, huge moments. Like, I booked the stage, I sold this many books. Confidence could be like, girl, I walked into the restaurant and he turned his head and he looked at me and I looked at him and then he asked me and I said yes. And now, you know, it's like, it's those little things. But
yeah.
when you get someone in that state of mind, then they start to embody it.
Right.
Because oftentimes if they're like anxious about something, they're being in that state of anxious. They know how to act to be anxious. They know to twiddle their thumbs, to pace back and forth. But what does confidence look like? And then they start to think, well, what does the confidence me look like? Oh, shoulders back, chin up, glowing, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just like a little this, a little that. You have to envision what it looks like and then you embody it, right? So hopefully that answers your question.
Oh yeah, no, for real. Honestly, this actually reminds me of a conversation I had with a friend of mine. Was like, and this is what I want to start doing myself and for my daughter too, is having a positive evidence journal, because we have to remind ourselves of all of those things. It's so easy to go into like, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, and blah 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 blah. But we have to remind ourselves and write it down. Like, what was that moment? What were those moments? Like, I was in the McDonald's drive-through and the lady would like literally looked at me and was like, "Wow, I love your eyes."
Oh my
Like,
God, your
what?
skin is glowing. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Like, thank you. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
remember
take
that. I'm
it.
gonna write that down.
Yeah, I honestly feel like most people, especially entrepreneurs, we're moving from one thing to the other. And so we forget about all the little wins that we've had. Like, you've launched a podcast, you've launched a website, you've built things. You get what I'm saying? Like, you closed your first contract. Someone's paying you for how you think and what it is that you do. Not everyone achieves that. And
Right.
some people aren't celebrating those wins. And I'm like, baby girl, come on
Celebrate
now.
those wins
Come on
and
now.
share them with us.
Yeah.
Post them in the chat right now. Post them on Facebook. This is
Yeah.
also one of the best things you could do to let people know, like, you're not the best. You're not the most. What do they say? The best kept secret. You
Don't be the
know.
best kept secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be the best
I want to
kept
be the
secret.
best known. Because
Yeah.
sometimes being better known is way better than being the best. Because you could be the best, and if no one knows who the heck you are, did a tree fall in the forest and no one heard it? Did it really fall? Right? Did you really do that? Did you?
Exactly. Awesome. This is great stuff. So, what do you think was your first big internal win like this that was like realize, oh dang, I can like this could be a whole business. Like, people don't realize this.
For the NLP piece of things?
Yeah, just everything that you've been doing online. People don't even realize that you can coach people like this.
Yeah. Okay, so the first time I got certified for NLP, so I could certify other practitioners, my plan was to originally host the 7-day training in person here in San Diego. So I had this whole thing, I booked the Airbnb, had the itinerary and whatnot, and then COVID happened. Which at that point, everything completely shut down. And I kept putting off the date because I was like, you guys, I don't know when we could do this again. It was already, I think, maybe August. And we were planning to have our training in March. So it was already August. And I was like, come on, I got to deliver this, right? And so it was at that point when I decided, okay, I'm already live streaming and I already know how to keep an audience engaged. So why don't we just take this 7-day training that was supposed to be in person and translate it into an online virtual space? And so that was the first, like, can you do it? Right? Can you do it? What would that look like? And so I did it. And then every single one that graduated from that first cohort was like, this was great. This was cool. And they really appreciated it because they found that, like, what they learned is that they can coach people virtually, remotely. But it doesn't always have to be that you have to be there in person, because there's things in NLP that you learn about another person. So, for example, you can tell like what their communication style is. So one is there's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and auditory digital. I'll give you what mine is. I'm very visual. I talk very fast. I go from one idea to the other, right? The second you start telling me something like an idea, I'm already scripting and storyboarding in my head. And sometimes I might just kind of like interrupt you, not because I'm trying to be rude, but because it's like an idea bubble. And if I don't say it, it disappears. So when you're talking to someone that is a visual communicator, she's like, hold on a second. And I'm going to have my Celsius too.
Keep going. Sorry. Good.
So
Keep going.
when you're pitching to someone that's a visual communicator, how would you keep someone like me engaged? That means you have to talk really fast. That means you have to give me visuals. Like, show me a PowerPoint, show me a Canva. Like, when you say, like, do you see what I mean? And you don't show me anything. No, I don't see what you mean. right? No, I don't,
Right.
because you didn't show me anything.
That's
And
like a
so,
filler word right there.
exactly. And so, when you really understand how someone thinks, what their strategies are, how they process information, and then send it back to them, that's really the point where you're going to be able to have traction in a conversation. And so, once we did that one, I was like, okay, bet we're gonna keep doing this, and we've been doing it ever since. We've done all of our trainings online. I've had graduates from Indonesia, Australia, across the US. Like literally we'll have people in the US, like US time zones, and then someone from Indonesia waking up in the middle of the night so they could be a part of the training. You would think, you would assume that they would be like half asleep, but in reality, they're so engaged because the way that the content is presented keeps them on their toes. And then when we designed the actual training, it's like every single day, if you could see, like, let's say your daughter, let's say on day one, you have a picture of how she looks like on day one. She's like, oh, I don't know, maybe, kind of. And then day two, she's like, wait a second. She's like sitting up a little bit. By like day three, they're like, let's go. And you're like, who are you? Who are you? So we always have this saying where it's like, who you were yesterday is completely different than who you are today. So
Mhm.
whatever happened yesterday, the day before that, I don't even know. Who you choose to show up today is what I'm going to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So whether you decide to bring all that baggage or not, that's up to you. But I don't know about you, girl, because when I travel, I like to travel with a carry-on, and there's only so much I could take with me. And the things that I'm going to take with me is like my happy memories and this, you know what I'm saying? That. Everything else, leave behind. Don't need it.
I love the analogy. Awesome. Yeah, because then I'm just gonna make new memories.
I'd rather just make new memories. Yeah.
Awesome.
There's this one thing that my friend said to me. He's like, you know what? I've come to realize that no one's really keeping tabs on what happened in your past. No one's saying, well, let me go into the encyclopedia and look what happened. Like, no. Usually when people catch up with you and they want to like, what's up? What's going on? What are you working on? What are you doing? Where do you want to be? That's how most people are. Now, if someone comes
Well,
up to
most
you,
people in our world,
that's what
not
I was going to say. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But if you have people coming up to you and be like, oh, yeah, I remember you used to da, right? And it's like, I'm not that person anymore. I don't live at
Yeah.
that address. I moved already.
Mhm.
I moved. So it's
I love
interesting.
it.
It's interesting.
So, we were talking just like briefly behind the scenes. You've worked with other people who also use this whole like strategy or frameworks that you use to speak on stages, and you've worked with master chefs, even astronauts. Tell us
Yeah,
a
dude,
little
that was
bit more
dope.
about that. Yeah, yeah. Tell us about how that has helped these people in these different industries go from wherever they are right now to performing at a higher level.
Yeah, I think a lot of times NLP really helps you when you are in a high stakes environment, right?
Mm,
So like let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're like, I know how to do my job. I know how to build things and game over, right? But then you put them in a room and now it's a high stakes situation where they have to pitch. They've never been in that pressure test before. They've never done that before. So typically their brain goes, boop, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Now, coming from a military family background, like everything is a routine, right? Everything is about preparedness. Everything is about preparing you. So even like let's say you go to the gym, you don't go all out on your first deadlift, right? You put in like the little mini reps and you work your way up, right?
right.
So, in working with these particular clients, especially when they have a high stakes thing, a live shopping event, a course launch, a keynote, it's how can we get you a mini win? How can we structure and give you a format that's easy for you to remember? So, I'll give you
Mhm.
one today, and it's like super easy. It was developed by Dr. Bernice McCarthy, and she was an educator. And she found that when she was teaching a classroom, she realized that people learn by asking very specific questions. And you tell me which one you are. So the first one is you have the why learner. Why learners want to know, why is this important? Why do I have to do this right now? Because if there is no why, they don't care. They scrolled on, they're doing something else. They've got another tab open, right? Then you have the what audience. The what audience needs to know, "Oh, Okay, before I get into this, what do I need to know? What are the terms? What are the trends? What are the consequences? What are the advantages? Then you have the how learner, and the how learner says, okay, so how am I going to use this? How do I get started? How is this going to impact me, my finances, my family, my community? How? They want it like step by step, right? Then you have the what if learner, and the what if learner is kind of like your skeptic, and they go, well, what happens if? Well, what happens if I do follow your advice? What are the advantages? What happens if I don't follow your advice? What are the consequences? Am I going to be punished? Am I going to be left behind? Is AI going to take over the world? Right? And so what she realizes that when you structure your talk or your presentation or your elevator pitch into why, what, how, and what if, it's a lot easier for people to remember. So give me a random topic. I'll just show you how it works.
A random topic?
Yeah. Popcorn it up.
Like in what situation? Like
anything.
Let's say
It could be like a hair clip. Talk to me about horses. Talk to me.
Let's talk about surfing.
Okay, it's surfing. So today I'm going to talk to you about surfing. And the reason why you want to learn about surfing is because if you're headed over to Hawaii, you're going to want to learn how to surf. And the reason why is because you want that true experience. You're going to love the warmth of the water. Not only that, though, but you're going to have something that you can take pictures with and take back home with you. So here's what you need to know about surfing. Surfing is something that anyone can do as long as you know the right steps. So today I'm going to show you 3 things on how you can get started. So step number 1, 2, and 3. So if you follow all of my advice, guess what? The next trip that you're going to have in Hawaii, you're going to have an amazing, beautiful time. Now, if you don't do this, if you think that you're just going to learn all about this by doing a Google search, congratulations, you found the best ranking Google landing page. You're going to learn differently. You see how that was done?
Awesome. That was amazing.
So if you follow that structure, it makes it a lot easier. And so that's really what's helped my clients is thinking in frameworks.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a framework and you know how to plug and play it, it's kind of like Mad Libs.
Right.
Then their brain starts to like, oh, okay, great. If I just follow this format, right? Then that's what's going to make you an engaged speaker. Now, even just that like mini presentation, if I spent 5 minutes on the why, 5 minutes on the what, 5 minutes on the how, and 5 minutes on the what if, that's a 20-minute presentation.
Right.
Now, if
And
you were
you
to
cover
add
all the
on,
bases of
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's say you take that 20 minutes, but the first 5 minutes you're telling like a little story, right? And then you do 5 minutes Q&A, and then 5 minutes you close out the story. That's your signature keynote talk. That's where you get paid like 30 grand.
Awesome.
When you break it into pieces, like when you break it into pieces and you figure it out, right? When you figure it out, that's when clients go like, oh, right? Because you could do the same thing. If you were to write like your next Facebook post, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, you're like, let me tell you 3 reasons why, So here's what you should know, right? This is how it gets started. And because I did this, these are the advantages. And if it were me 5 years ago, I would have told myself this. Otherwise, I'd still be struggling.
Right. I love it. Oh my gosh, this is a great framework. I'm usually, very simplistic with mine, hook, story, offer. But this gives you like the whole range of how people learn. Like you said, I'm totally more of the what and the how. Sometimes I can already pinpoint some people I already know who are definitely why.
Yeah. And until you clear the why, they can't get out of that, right?
Yeah.
And so a question that I often get from people is like, well, if I'm pitching to a whole room and there's different stakeholders, how do I know which one is which? It's like, you don't know until you start talking to them. But if they just said, okay, now it's your turn to pitch, you want to leverage the why, what, how, and what if. But if you notice that someone is this dead ass, like why, then you're going to want to know all the reasons why, right? Now, the other piece is, if you're in a room and you know that I'm a visual communicator, you're going to know that I'm all about like the vibes and like keeping it fast and let's get to it. But if there's someone else in the room and they're just kind of like leaning back and like they kind of look uncomfortable or confused, they might have a different communication style. And that's when you have to start shifting and be like, okay, are they auditory? Are they kinesthetic? Are they auditory digital? Which you might be auditory digital. Auditory digital is we're very process oriented. I want to know the framework. I want to know the blueprint. Like, what do you mean just launch a website? Don't we have to like get the name domain? Don't we have to do the DNS? Like, what? No, you don't just walk into Mordor and like, you know, kill off the ring, Frodo. There's a certain process that needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? Right? You don't just roll up
Exactly.
in there. You don't just launch a website. Those are very much like your auditory digital. And so me, I'm a cross between visual and auditory digital. I want to see what it is that we're trying to build, like what we're trying to achieve in the next 3 to 5, 10 years. But I also want to know the process. So if you're trying to pitch me and you just be like, oh, we just do it. How do you do it? What specifically does that mean? Do you have a project management plan, right? How are you going to mitigate risk? Like that's how my brain works. And I think when you start to realize how people think, when you adjust and you shift in that way accordingly, then it makes it a lot easier to work with someone. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, this is a whole masterclass.
I'll say, I already got my Celsius in my hand. So let's go.
So, before we wrap up, then, what else would you like to share with the audience about how they find you, how they work with you? They're like, this is amazing. Like, how can people reach you?
The best place to find me is if you want to learn more about NLP, just reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am the most active on LinkedIn. And when someone generally reaches out to me on LinkedIn, you could see all my credentials, you could see all the references, you could see all my work experience. But anyone that usually reaches out to me on LinkedIn, I know that they mean business because I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna look at you, right? And like, are you the right fit? Right? Because not all money is good money, right?
Exactly.
I'm the type of person where every single person that has gone through our NLP program has succeeded. I have like a 100% rating. And so I vet prospect clients as well. I'm just like, would you be a good fit? You know? Like, are you willing to make that commitment? So LinkedIn is definitely the best place to find me. It's Stephanie Garcia. I'm sure she'll drop it in the show notes
Yeah.
and kind of go about it that way. But if you wanted to find the website, it's captivateoncommand.com.
Love it. It'll be in the description, guys. You guys, oh my gosh, replay, share this out because this was a whole entire masterclass she just gave us.
I know
Your
it's
journey.
drinking from the fire hose, but I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, I feel like at this point, you should know how to pitch yourself. You should know how to structure and tell a story in such a way that you could easily sell your business, your product, or your service. And if you're struggling with that, baby, why are you not investing in it? I know a lot of people are interested in AI and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a human to human connection, right? Money is just an exchange of energy, and people will want to know, should I invest in you? And if you can clearly communicate what it is that you do, that's like, they're going to throw the credit card at your face, like, take my money, take my money.
I
Let's
love it.
go.
I just talked to a client of mine who was like, I was up till 3 a.m. and I booked a call with you. And she did everything I said to do. And the whole experience that she went through to, finally get on our strategy call, she was already like, where do I pay? So
There you go.
there you go.
Yeah. Cause you probably because you're so thorough that people are like, I wasn't even thinking that. Sometimes clients are just kind of like, they think they need this one thing when in reality, they need this. Right. Yeah.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what it is you don't know. And you just kind of like,
Exactly.
I see the potential. I see where you could go. It's just a matter of, do you want to go there?
Exactly. You guys, I don't bring anybody onto the show. I always bring in good people. Stephanie is a real one. If you're listening right now and you want to become more confident on camera and you want to learn the NLP psychology behind captivating an audience, go follow Stephanie right now. Check out her program. Go onto her LinkedIn and be serious about it if you want to reach out to her, because I don't want to hear people will be wasting her time. Okay. She's the real deal. And you just got a front row seat to her brilliance. Thanks for hanging out with us today, Stephanie, this episode. If this hit you guys, make sure to share it and share it with a friend. Comment below. Of course, we'll see you next week. And much love and aloha. Bye.
Bye.